Mitch, your Navy vet in the Philippines. Today we're going to be discussing medical care in the Philippines, and particularly we're going to focus on the Tricare program. But I will make some general remarks about medical services that apply to all. Let me start by saying that I've lived in the Philippines for almost 10 years now since I retired from the Navy. I was stationed in the Philippines in Subic, 89 to 92. I was here when Mount Pinatubo blew up and for the base closure evolution. Before that, I made a number of TADs, temporary duty, to the Philippines, the first one being in 1982. So in those years, in those decades, I've seen a lot of progress being made here, and that includes progress in the area of medical care and medical services. So the number one question that I get from foreigners, mostly Americans, a lot who are military retired, is about medical care here and the availability of quality service and the affordability of it. We're all concerned about getting good medical care as we get older and have more and more problems. For people who are contemplating moving or retiring to the Philippines, that is naturally a very, very big concern of theirs, as it is for me, everyone else here. We always discuss it when we get together, and it's a very important thing to be aware of. With that said, remember this: the Philippines is still a third world country. There is quality care available, first-rate, international standards, hospitals, with all the latest equipment in the Philippines. But those hospitals are mostly in Manila and some of the other big cities. If you choose to live out in one of the provinces, that is a problem. The chances are that you're going to be near a good quality hospital with the latest equipment, and the best trained providers are not that great. And unfortunately, being a third world country, a sad reality of life, people die of problems, medical problems and emergencies and diseases that were wiped out in the United States and other Western modern countries years ago, even decades ago. Sad reality. Let me give you this example. A friend of mine back in the United States on the East Coast, a college classmate of mine, had a heart attack about 4 weeks ago on a Sunday. Massive, massive heart attack. His wife dialed 911. The ambulance was there in 10 minutes. They had a very well-trained EMT staff. They got him to the hospital, the emergency room. They worked on him. They saved his life. He was out of the hospital that Thursday. So from Sunday to Thursday, he suffered a massive heart attack, was hospitalized, got through it, and was back home with his family. 4 or 5 days. He was okay. Imagine if he was living in a little province or a barangay somewhere, and he was 6 hours away from a good hospital in Manila. He would never make it alive to the emergency room. So please consider this and take my advice. If you are considering retiring or moving to the Philippines, you must assess the state of your health. Your life is at stake. If you have a serious condition that requires ongoing, extensive care, don't move here. Don't come here. If you're not sure whether you can or not, see your doctor, get a thorough physical from head to toe, and let him make the evaluation as to whether or not you're in good enough shape to live here. chances are he's worked with Filipino doctors and nurses in the United States, so he has some awareness about the state of medical care in the Philippines, and he will be able to advise you the best way he could. But again, if you have a serious condition that requires really involved care, I'm sorry to say the Philippines is not the place for you. If you do have such a condition, and with the approval of your doctor, you could come here for a few months out of the year, perhaps that may be an alternative too. Next thing, please be aware, if you don't already know, Medicare is not available here in the Philippines or anywhere outside of the United States. So you may have full coverage in America, but once you leave, there's no Medicare. So please be aware of that. We do have a VA OPC outpatient clinic for veterans, and we also have the Tricare Select Program, Tricare and or TOP, Tricare Overseas Program, which is basically what most of this vlog is going to be about. There have been a lot of ups and downs with the Tricare program, especially in the wake of the massive fraud and scandals of the first part of, I guess, 2007, 2008, actually 2006, 2007, 2008. Since those huge scandals blew apart the Tricare program and nearly destroyed it, we've been struggling with Tricare issues. Thank God we're getting a little better now and things seem to be headed in the right direction. But my friends, we still have a very, very long way to go. Some people would say, oh, well, I could get PhilHealth for not that much money, so I'll be okay no matter what. I don't need Tricare, I don't need this, or I don't need that. No. PhilHealth is not the answer to your health care insurance needs. They only pay a small part of hospital stays, maybe some tests, just a small part. They don't pay for doctor office visits, they don't pay for medications, and gosh, you could wind up in the hospital and get zapped with a bill of who knows how many tens or even hundreds of thousands of pesos. So please do make sure that when you come here, you do have some form of reliable and valid health insurance. But I will be talking about mostly about the availability of Tricare. The terms you really need to know at this point are these. We all are aware of Tricare Standard, Tricare Prime. As of the new year, 1 January 2018, instead of Tricare Prime, it's now Tricare Select. Tricare Select. Under Tricare Select, we have the Tricare Overseas Program. Usually it's called TOP, Tricare Overseas Program. And that's what we all have in the Philippines. The terms for Tricare Overseas Program that you must be aware of, and I'm going to explain in some detail, are preferred provider, approved provider, and international SOS. The order I gave you, those two terms, preferred provider and approved provider, are just that, the order of preference in which you should seek a provider. Number one, you would want a preferred provider. What is a preferred provider? Well, I'm going to read it from their website, and you'll see exactly. By the way, again, I'm going to give the links to all of these web pages, and when I finish this portion, the introductory portion of my vlog, I'm going to walk you through all of these sites, and the links will be in the comments section, so you can read them at your own leisure and get smart on Tricare in the Philippines. What is a preferred provider? If you can, you're in the Philippines and you need medical care. If you can, go see a preferred provider, which could be an individual doctor, or if you need a hospital, there are preferred provider hospitals. Like here in the Subic area, we have Bay Point Hospital, that's a preferred provider. We have Medical City Clark, they're a preferred provider. And what are they about? A preferred provider agrees to comply with certain Tricare requirements and business processes in designated Philippine locations. Preferred providers accept established reimbursement rates, so the beneficiary will be responsible only for the applicable deductible and cost shares. Deductible and cost shares must be paid up front. If payment is not made up front, the preferred provider will collect only the applicable deductible and cost shares after getting the Tricare explanation of benefits. In addition, all preferred providers must comply with on-site verification provider certification requirements. Basically, this means if you go to a preferred provider, you're only going to have to pay your 25%. The doctor that you are seeing has agreed with Tricare to accept a certain amount for office visits and the different procedures that he does. All you have to pay is 25% of those agreed upon amounts. The preferred provider's office should take care of the paperwork with Tricare, not you. So obviously, you avoid a lot of headaches by going to a preferred provider. And I'll show you how to find preferred providers and other providers in the second part where I walk you through the websites. And they will encourage you, Tricare encourages you to see a preferred provider. The next step, a notch down from preferred provider, is a certified provider. What is a certified provider? He or she meets Tricare required on-site verification and provider certification requirements. However, certified providers within designated Philippine locations do not agree to the additional conditions necessary to be preferred providers. Certified providers can invoice Tricare for beneficiary claims. There may be no limit to the amount that certified providers charge in the Philippines. Keep that in mind. They could charge whatever they want. Beneficiaries are responsible for paying any amount that exceeds the Tricare allowable charge in addition to your deductible and cost shares. This means that a doctor can charge anything he or she wants. However, Tricare will only reimburse him for the amount that they reimburse for that procedure. You have to pay everything up front to the doctor. You have to pay 100% of whatever he charges. And then you submit the paperwork for your 75% for reimbursement. So you say that's not such a bad deal. It is. Because if the doctor charges 2,000 pesos, about $40 for your office visit, and Tricare will only pay a maximum of 1,000 pesos for an office visit, you're going to submit your paperwork and you'll get 750 pesos back if you're lucky, meaning if they don't find a reason to deny your claim. So the most you're going to get out of the 2,000 pesos that you paid out of pocket is 750 pesos. And it benefits the doctor, it doesn't benefit you. And I'm sorry to say that there are providers that when they see a Tricare patient in the office, then the prices go up. Who knows how much? Some don't. Some are great about that, but there are a lot also who take advantage of the system. So be aware of this and try to be smart about it. Call the office before, have your significant other, better yet, or a Tagalog-speaking person call the office and ask them straight out, how much is an office visit? And then maybe they can ask, well, how much is an office visit for a Tricare patient? And at that point, if you get a difference in the pricing of the two, you could make your decision accordingly. So as I said, you are playing Russian roulette because you do not know whether your 75% is going to be approved, but for sure you're only going to get 75% of the allowable charge from Tricare. You're not going to get 75% of any additional amount that provider charges. It'll be out of pocket. So you'll be paying a significant amount out of pocket. Now, what about deductibles? For Tricare, the deductible clock no longer goes according to the fiscal year in October 1. It goes according to the calendar year. So the clock was just reset at 0000 on 1 January 2018. So, like, to give you an example, in my own case, I have to pay all of my medical bills 100% until I accumulate $300 worth of bills. It's $300 for family deductible, $150 for a single person. Once you pay $300 out of pocket for medical bills, then you start where you would only pay the 25%, and Tricare would pay the 75%. And that is 75% of the allowable charge, of course. The great thing about the preferred providers is, again, is that they don't, they take care of the paperwork usually, so you don't have to worry about it. And in the computer, there's a running record of how much towards your deductible has been met. And when you meet that $150 or $300 amount, then you're off the hook with paying 100% out of your pocket. And hopefully you'll only be paying your 25%. Here we are in the main Tricare Overseas program portal. That's tricare-overseas.com. Hit top selected in the Philippines, and that gives us good information. Philippine provided definitions, which we went through, other basic information, and numbers to call for assistance. We're going to go now to the meat and potatoes of this whole thing. How to find a provider. Hit Philippine provider search in the left-hand column. On the drop-down menu, go to province. In this case, we're going to go all the way down to the Z's, Zambales, and then city, Olongapo. You can check the block to include providers that may have been out of the system 2 or more years. And then you can see we have 104 providers in the Olongapo area. That includes doctors, hospitals, clinics. The preferred providers are in the blue banner, and the certified providers are in green. Those who are out of the system 2 or more years are in yellow, and they may still be in the Tricare system, so don't discount them completely. And you could do this with any region of the Philippines. Obviously, if you're searching in Manila, you'll get many pages. Now go to claims, hit claims, and this page will give you information on how to submit a claim form. And most importantly, if you scroll up, you have a link to actually download the claim forms. You fill them out. That's DD 2642, I believe. (2642). You'll have 2 copies here, one your copy front and back, and one the processor's copy front and back. You could mail it in hard copy, or you could send it as an attachment through email, and that's what I would recommend. Now you can go to the contact portal, contact information for Pacific, go to Philippines, open, and you get important phone numbers, medical assistance, and you can also download a wallet card with all of this important contact information, print it out, and keep it in your wallet in case of an emergency. This is a copy of the wallet card. Lastly, you can look at the International Sos Philippines website. They're located in Ortigas, Metro Manila. They can provide help with Tricare issues. Just Google International Sos Philippines, and it will take you to this website with all the contact information.